it is a general feeling that the Reserve Bank of India has been a bit behind the curve. Actually, the rate increase cycle should have started a little earlier. If not rate cycle, at least they should have started draining liquidity from the system much earlier. The extraordinary liquidity that was injected into the economy because of the pandemic had helped the economy to recover. But at the same time, the recovery is not fully complete, and various exogenous factors have impacted on the inflation front. The international commodity prices because of the war and the sanctions associated with that, and the domestic prices because of the weather conditions and various other factors. Both of them have multiplied. Initially it was thought that it is a supply side phenomenon, but then it has actually spread and become broad-based. So it would have been, possibly they should have started draining liquidity earlier, and actually again we can't blame the Reserve Bank of India too much, for the reason that in the last couple of months the price increase has been much sharper. So the April forecast was, for the inflation forecast was 5.7%, and obviously today's forecast is 6.7%, which is much higher than the upper tolerance limit of the Monetary Policy Committee. Even in the GDP front, the predominant mandate of the Reserve Bank of India is to look after the inflation in the inflation targeting framework that has been adopted. But then Reserve Bank of India was helping the Government of India by actually aiding growth through liquidity. But now obviously the Reserve Bank of India will have to come in this type of situation. So my own feeling is that the rate increases will continue in the rest of the year, and the governor has already mentioned that draining of the liquidity will continue. But there is a problem too. The problem is that the government borrowing has to be done, and if the rate cycle increases, the yield increases. At higher yield, the cost of government borrowing will increase, and that is what we economists call financial repression. And so the governor has said that, we will try to see that the government borrowing program is smooth, which basically would mean that they will do some open market operations at the time when government borrowing program takes place, and that will have its own impact on the economy. After all, these are all the sources of distortions. But nevertheless, the Reserve Bank of India has taken stock of things, and they are more realistic now in their forecasting, and obviously more measures will have to be taken, but I'm sure they will take during the course of the year.